here founder of Bobcats, but I would rather prefer to call him Papa. So, I have been coming to Bobcats for something like 15 years with my students, and I have had pleasure always to enjoy his enthusiasm and his dedication toward this idea of bringing together students and professors in the LS field. So we are all waiting now for your speech. Ruud, please go ahead.
It doesn't work.
Okay. Good morning, buongiorno, or in Dutch, especially for Federica, goedemorgen. First I have to start with a couple of excuses. I'm not talking about the digital divide. I'm to be honest, a digital illiterate, as you noticed. Second excuse is because of my voice. Probably quite a lot of people have noticed I'm a heavy smoker. And sometimes I drink too much whiskey. For that reason my voice is a little bit husky or harsh. The third excuse is that I don't speak fluently English, comparing with our English colleagues, who in my opinion speak always Oxford English, like You're lucky. You're lucky that I don't speak in Dutch instead of English, because it could be Dutch. If you go back in time, about 300 years ago, the 17th century, we fought many wars, the Dutch and the English. Instead of, we didn't have a football competition, we did it on wars on sea. We fought the English 4 times. The Second Sea War was won by the Dutch under the leadership of Michael de Ruyter. He beat the English at Chatham. And we thought we are lucky because we could negotiate the English. And at that time we had New Amsterdam, it's called New York. And the English had Suriname, which is a country up in the north of South America, very rich of natural sources. And we thought we are very clever. We said to the English, you can get New Amsterdam and you give us Suriname. If we hadn't do that, you can imagine that nowadays the United States will have, let's say, a Dutch language, kind of Dutch language. And you have to listen to me in Dutch with this crazy Okay, let's talk about Bobcats. That's my topic. How we start the Bobcats, how did we create? There are several reasons for that. One of the reasons is personal. At that time, and I'm talking about, let's say, 20 years ago, I was in the beginning of the 50s, and especially man knows that is a point in your life that you're suffering of a midlife crisis. You want to change everything. Some of us are changing relationships, which I did. Some of us did change houses or education. What you need at that time in your life is that you want to be young again. You know, that's the reason why I'm still mentioned here on this bench as a student. That was one of the reasons. So I wanted to create something new in my life, and especially in my job as a lecturer at the University of Amsterdam. And I was not the only one. There were several others, more or less, in that kind of age. Second reason for chasing and creating Bobcats was that we saw that libraries were changing. Instead of delivering or lending books, delivering information by using all kinds of new technologies. And that has its consequence for the training program. So we want to change from, in our training program, from cataloging or documentation to management. So we create a new course at the University of Amsterdam called Information Management and Business. And one of the main reasons to do that is that we want to train librarians to be in information management by giving them practice, not by giving lectures, but project groups. And the main reason for creating BOBCATSS was all the changes in Europe. Yeah. The European Union became bigger and bigger. To be honest, you could say that BOBCATSS is one of the founders of the European Union. We saw a lot of changes. The wall in Berlin fell down. Before that, already the University of Amsterdam has this contacts with, especially the countries like Hungary and Poland. And that was very funny because you need a visa and etc. That you were not allowed to make one, let's say, rumors. Yeah. The moment let's say the wall in Berlin fell down, immediately we said to each other we had to make contacts with Hungary again. So we were mailing, writing, speaking to especially the National Library of Budapest and the University of Budapest and Soldatele to organize for the first time the BOBCATSS conference in Budapest. For the first BOBCATSS conference we invited several universities who were attending the first BOBCATSS, and they agreed to start on a new BOBCATSS conference the next year. But before talking about that, I want to say something about how did we organize the first conference. We motivated within the University of Amsterdam around 25 students a year and a half before the first BOBCATSS conference started. We divided this 25 students in 4 groups. One group responsible for the selection of papers, let's say for the contents of the program. One group responsible for sponsoring and finances. And keep in mind, it's one of the most important groups to get the money. The third group doing the public relations, including editing the publication. And the last group, the group busy with the organization, facilities, accommodations, equipment and travel. Each group was headed by an elected student and guided by one of our lecturers. The 4 student groups leaders formed together with the project management group, chaired by a student project leader, elected by the 25 students. Keep in mind we were very democratic at that time. This project management group was supervised by the 4 lecturers and me. This project management group, during the first 5 years, starting for the first time in 1993, Amsterdam and Budapest did organize the symposium, and always based on the same structure.